Celebrate, because this is an awesome opportunity for you to be able to study abroad. My name is Michael Chen, and I'm a current intern at the Office of International Education, just right behind my right shoulder right there. I'm here to present to you a health and safety video in regards to the pre-departure phase of the study abroad experience. A little bit about me. I was able to study abroad in Galway, Ireland, which was a fantastic experience for me to experience another culture, experience different classroom environments, and be able to have a white professor be abroad with me. Whew, that Disney gets me tired. Anyways, so this video is really a good opportunity for you to offer information in regards to the pre-departure phase to go abroad. So, without further ado, here's a health and safety video offered by me, Michael Chen.
Hi Michael, thanks so much for the invitation. I'm Don Thompson, I'm the director at Bishop Wellness Center. I'm thankful for the opportunity to come talk with you about some of the pre-departure things you need to be thinking about as you're set to travel and study abroad. I always tell students that the study abroad experience, while life-changing and affirming and positive and all these wonderful things, can also be a stressful thing. And so I'm here today to talk about just some considerations before you leave that will help make your study abroad experience a little more positive for you. So the study abroad experience is full of a lot of transitions. You're going to obviously undergo a geographic transition, there's going to be an academic transition, there's going to be social transitions. You're going to be living, honestly, in a different country, different cultures, different values. And I'm mindful that the Willamette bubble is a real thing, okay? And who you are in the bubble, I hope you will go and take and shine in other cultures and other areas. But just be mindful of the stress that the transition to a new environment can cause. I will also say I do know about Willamette students that they are bright, engaged, high-achieving, driven, and kind of bad at self-care. And so as you experience some of these sort of stressful situations while you are abroad, please remember to take care of yourself. Do the things that make you feel good. A puzzle, perhaps. Something to take care of yourself while you're abroad. It is important. So let's talk for a second about medications. If you're on prescription medications, it's really critical that you develop a plan now for how you're going to access those medications while you are abroad. For example, it's a good place to start to figure out if the medications that you're taking are even allowed in the country to which you might be traveling. Laws and rules vary different according to different countries. So figure out a plan now, work with your prescriber now to have enough medicine to last you through your study abroad experience, or alternatively develop a plan to get some while you are there. I would really encourage you to not open up a gallon Ziploc bag and dump all the medications into one giant Ziploc bag. That will not get through customs. So please take them in your original container when they are marked properly. And it may also be a good idea to get an actual hard copy of the prescription from your provider in case there are any questions at customs. The other thing, over-the-counter medications. We're standing at the self-care aisle in Bishop. All of these things are free. Please come in before you depart. Stock up on these. We've got ibuprofen, condoms, cough drops. These are really fantastic because they're individually packaged, labeled clearly, easily packable, and very light. So before you go, if you want to stock up on any of these things, please come in and help yourself. The other thing I tell students is if there is a certain kind of tea, a certain kind of over-the-counter medication that just makes you feel better when you are abroad, or when you're sick rather, take it when you are abroad. Take some with you, because you may not find it in your host country. So we also encourage students to take care of some of their preventative health needs before they leave. Things like get your physicals done now. Go to the dentist. If you've got a cavity that's been bothering you, now is the time to get that fixed. Go visit the optometrist. Take an extra pair of really old clunky glasses. You will break your glasses when you're abroad, I guarantee you. So take an extra pair. If you happen to be starting a medication, make sure you allow enough time to sort of adjust to that before you go. So talk to your provider now about developing a plan. This is just really important. So here we are in the Mind Spa in Bishop Wellness Center with our multi-setting massage chair that is free for students, by the way. So let's talk for a second about health insurance. It's important to figure out how your health insurance will be utilized while you are abroad. Talk to your insurance provider now. Make sure you have coverage while you are abroad. I also encourage students to take with them, print out before you go, a claim form that you can then give to your provider there. It's also not unusual to have to pay cash up front or pay out of pocket up front for healthcare while you are abroad, so be prepared for that as well. So it's of course our hope that you find Willamette to be a supportive and inclusive and affirming place, but I do caution you to be aware that that might not be the case in the country to which you might be traveling. Cultures differ, laws differ. There are a couple of really good websites available in your and referenced in your study abroad handbook. The ILGA website is a fantastic place to start. You can figure out which country you're going to go to and click on that country and learn all about the laws, the rules, the customs, unspoken customs, the cultural beliefs around all the intersecting identities in that country, because again, it may be different here. The State Department website that is also in your handbook is also a really good place to start. So here we are in the Writing Center at Willamette University, and Willamette is comparatively a pretty resource-rich and support services-rich environment for academic services. And I'm so thrilled that so many of our students utilize these here. With the academic transition that is sure to occur when you study abroad, I'd encourage you to get familiar with the academic supports available to you on the campus to which you're traveling. The other thing I'd like to remind students is we know about 10% of our students on campus here utilize academic accommodations through accessible education. Importantly, you are covered as a Willamette student under the Americans with Disabilities Act, which obviously covers you in America. That may not be the case in this country to which you might be traveling. So if you are a student that receives any sort of academic or housing accommodations, I would encourage you to contact Accessible Education now before you leave to see about what accommodations may be available to you while you study abroad. So here's what we know about the study abroad experience. It's an amazing, transformative thing. But it can also both exacerbate and or initiate a mental health concern. And so I encourage students to A, not be surprised by that, and B, make a plan for it. I'm so glad that so many students utilize mental health services and that the stigma is being reduced. I'm so thrilled about that. Students are seeking care, and that's a great thing. While you are abroad, access may be different. Cultural norms around seeking care may be different. So again, go back, talk to your provider now, and develop a plan now for how you might seek care while abroad. I really cannot overstate the importance of taking good care of yourself and practicing good self-care while you are abroad. The sleep change alone is enough to really sort of spin some students out at times. So please take care of yourself.
Hey, my name is Julia Di Simone. I am a senior anthropology major, and I studied abroad during my junior fall semester in Ifrane, Morocco. I lived in dorms at Al Akhawain University, and the city of Ifrane is like this mountainous, snowy city. It's an hour outside of the city of Fes. And while I was abroad, I got the opportunity to take lots of classes in African politics and development, and got to study with a professor who actually works for the UN Development Program, which was really cool. When you first go abroad, you're more likely to be hypervigilant about your own personal safety because you're experiencing culture shock, and the common sense that you learned growing up at home might not necessarily work when you're abroad, because all different things in this culture work differently. And over time, over the course of your abroad experience, you will naturally begin to become more comfortable. You'll understand how the culture works. You'll understand how to hail a taxi, how to pay with these brand new coins, and you'll become super comfortable by the time your abroad experience is drawing to a close. And that's what happened to me. By the time I was ready to leave for Morocco and was actually taking a night train to Casablanca to fly back to Europe, I thought I was just like a local. I was super casual about personal space and about watching my belongings, and I was way too comfortable, and I actually had my purse stolen. And so my advice to you would be that you have to negotiate being like a local and doing like they do, but also being aware of your own personal safety and about the fact that you stand out because you most likely don't actually look like a local and people can tell you're not from here. So you could stand out and potentially be more of a target than other locals are. So all the advice that's in your handbook about personal safety is really important to keep in mind. Wear your passport in a money belt on your person, have copies of your ID and passports in your bag, don't put all your money in one place, have your belongings attached to you at all time, don't let them be like in a different train compartment, all those types of advice, even if the locals around you aren't doing that. All that type of advice is really important so that your personal safety comes first, and your personal safety and well-being has to come before blending in. But don't be afraid about learning to blend in because this absolutely happens naturally. One of the best ways I found to do this was by making a Moroccan friend. You're going abroad and you're super curious about what people's lives are like there, and they're equally as curious about you. So if you're nervous about figuring out how to pay for a taxi ride, go with a local and you're gonna have great conversations where you get to ask about how taxis work here and they get to ask you about the education system and the presidential election and politics in America and get all their questions answered as well.
You need to think about yourself, be patient with yourself, be patient with other people. Everyone in the group is going through exactly the same as you, and you must be conscious of this. You're with wonderful host families with huge experience, and they will understand you and understand your circumstances and what you're going through. And I think if you need to turn to them for help, I think communication is essential. Communicate with them, communicate with me, and above all, be extremely patient with yourself. Okay, health is your priority for the next 4 or 5 months. If your health is good, then the rest of the program will be wonderful. If your health is not so good, you don't deal with the stress adequately, then it will be hard. Okay, the first week is exceptionally difficult because you've just arrived. Time difference is huge, 9 hours with the Pacific Northwest compared to Spain, and so basically you need to take each day as it comes. Okay, you'll be extremely tired today. Tomorrow you'll be a little less tired, but you're going to find it very hard to sleep at night for at least, I'd say, a week, possibly even 10 days. Okay. During these first days, take it easy when you go out. Get advice, find out, where are the best places to go. Ask the people, the younger people, those that are in your host family. Find out which are the best places to go, and then also take some time to watch and observe how people drink and how people eat and how people socialize. Okay, because you will want to go out and you will want to meet people and you will drink. But you must be very aware that in different cultures, people drink in different ways, okay?
So let's talk for a second about alcohol and drug use while abroad. It's important to remember that just because you are abroad, the Willamette policies and code of conduct still applies to you. And we also remind students to just be safe around their alcohol and drug use. I mean, if you don't do it here, it probably doesn't make a lot of sense to do it there. And we see students sometimes see the study abroad experience as an opportunity to push boundaries. Please just do it in a safe way. The other thing, if you get in trouble, there are local laws and rules, of course, for wherever you are going to be traveling. Willamette can't help you if you run afoul of those. So if you get in trouble, you become incarcerated, there's not much. You're going to be on your own on that one. So figure out how healthcare is delivered in the country to which you are traveling. For example, in the United States, if your first stop is the emergency room, that's going to be an expensive visit. Other countries, that is how healthcare is delivered. So become educated before you go about how and where to access healthcare. Some of the schools to which you're traveling are going to have university health centers. That's often a good place to start. Other countries, the pharmacist does a lot of the care. Research this and figure this out ahead of time. One small little reminder, it's a good idea if you have any allergies to any medications or bee stings, anything like that, get that translated in the host country's language. Have that accessible, so if in the case of the emergency, you can deliver that to somebody who of course speaks the native language and you can get the appropriate care.
Don.
Hey, Michael, how's it going? Good to see you.
I'm alright, hanging in there.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Want to pull up a chair and have a seat? And
Yeah, that'd be awesome. I just came back from my study abroad experience, and my friends and family interactions with them is just not the same anymore. I'm really struggling. Just do you have any words of wisdom for me?
Yeah, well, first off, glad you came and talked to me. Not a surprise. Of course, what we know about the return is it's a whole lot harder than people think it is. I
Yeah,
can say this, it's a process. How you feel today is not how you're going to feel tomorrow or next week. And 2 steps forward and 1 step back is how this is going to go. But over time, things can and do get better for you.
Wow, I already feel better already. Thank you.
I am good.
Thank you.
So once you're back, it's also a good idea to meet with your healthcare provider to just update them on any changes that you experienced while you were abroad. If you come back and you are having any lingering symptoms of sickness or illness, please tell somebody, get that checked out. When you left, think of yourself as a puzzle piece inside the larger puzzle of Willamette. You knew where you fit. You know where you fit now. You know where your edges are, and you know your place in this school. When you leave, you're going to have an amazing experience, and you're going to change in really amazing ways. When you come back, the edges to your puzzle piece are going to be different, and you're not going to fit into the puzzle the same way you did as before you left. So prepare for that, expect that, not be surprised by that. Take a moment when you get back to think about what your experience meant to you, what it is that you'd like to share with people. I encourage you to process that. Share with people that are close to you what that experience meant to you, and to not be surprised at how difficult the transition is back into Willamette.
I'm so pleased to be able to congratulate you as you begin this big adventure. I'm Carol Long, Senior Vice President for Academic and Student Affairs here at Willamette, and I have the great pleasure of working closely with the Office of International Education. Traveling, studying, learning abroad is one of the greatest things you'll ever do. You'll be living with people who come from different backgrounds, have different ideas than you. The academic skills that you bring from Willamette are going to grow and flourish. You'll be able to contribute your own understandings to the community you're living in, and at the same time, you're going to see from different perspectives your own home campus, state, and nation. So you will come back to Willamette with great inspiration and great understanding. In this world today, where we're fraught with so much tension and so much disagreement and partisan conversation, for you to have this opportunity to learn to see things from different perspectives, to listen to other people and understand how they see your ideas that you've brought with you, this is such a wonderful opportunity. And not only will you grow, but the growth that you have is going to help you to make the world a better place. So you'll come back to Willamette after having a safe and prosperous time while you're traveling. And we'll be so happy to see you back, because when you come back, sometimes people feel when they've studied abroad and they come back after a semester or a semester in the summer or something, sometimes when they get back to their home campuses, they feel like nobody understands them, right? Because you've changed, you've become a different person, you've had an opportunity to carry yourself differently in a whole different environment. And sometimes people get home and they kind of say, nobody understands me here. We're here for you when you get back, and we want to know how you've changed and grown, and we'll be eager to talk with you and hear from you what your new perspectives are. So, bon voyage, best wishes, have a wonderful time, and we'll be so excited to see you when you come home.